You know, my voice is coming back a little bit. This is DJ Wolf, and this is DJ Wolf Live. Let me get started on a couple of things right quick here, shall we? Let's go. All right, guys. This is DJ Wolf, and of course, my podcast is DJ Wolf Live, exclusively on YouTube and Spreaker, and well, for lack of a better word, Twitter. Anyway, there's a couple things on my mind. I know you got people out here talking about guys be putting black women down and stuff, and here's the thing that trips me out. The guys who say that are some of the most hated guys on YouTube. I'm not going to name any names. But you know what they're saying about our women? That they're saying? It's true. It's really true. I'm telling you from personal experience. I went through that bullshit. I ain't going to say where. I ain't going to say with who by name. But it happened. For no, excuse my French, forgive me, but I got to go straight on this. For no fucking reason. Literally for no fucking reason. All right? I'll say this. I was telling somebody, this happened maybe about 2-3 years ago, and I'm still bothered by it. And I don't know if it's coming back to haunt me or not. It shouldn't, because honestly, I didn't do anything wrong. So I was telling somebody, I said I'm going to have to take off a couple of days. All right? And I was on one side of the room. I don't even care who they know it or they hear it or not. I don't care. I'm just going to tell it like this. So I'm on the one side of the room. They're on the other side of the room. So I had to I amplify my voice a little bit to make sure that they heard me. Because the person always saying, oh, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Okay, so when I did it, came around there, and they talking about, you sound like you got a tone. Your tone. I don't like the way you said it because your tone. I'm like, huh? And I told them I didn't mean anything by it. And I really didn't. And then I got in trouble for it. Now, mind you, these two black women and a white woman, you know, they really were trying to show me up in front of a white woman. I already know it because it's a long story. I'm going to talk about it one of these days. I really am. But anyway, and I'm like, you telling me you don't like my tone? You don't even know why I said it. If I'm saying to you, I got to take a specific day off, my tone may have something to do with the reason why I got to take off. And it wasn't directed towards you. You know, it really wasn't. But they took it very personally, and then I got jammed up for it. You know, I did. And I'm not going to lie. I'm one of them YouTubers who kind of got it in a little bit for black women. Yeah, I know my mama black, my sister black, my aunts are black, my grandmother was black, God rest her soul. Even though it was rumored that we had some white in our blood, but that's another story. And my wife is black. They're all black. Okay, so what? Big deal. Well, it's a big deal to me. I love black women. But I just can't stand your attitudes. I can't stand the way y'all disrespect men. I can't stand the way y'all disrespected black men throughout history. I witnessed it. I witnessed a black man get beat up, almost virtually beat up by his common law. For real. I've seen it happen. I've seen black women try to stab black men. Okay, I'll tell you about that another time. It wasn't me. I had black women try to cut me up one time years ago, back in the 80s and shit. I can tell you some stories, man. If there's one thing I can tell you stories about is about how our black women have done this. But it's funny when black men tell the truth about how they've been done by black women. The first thing that black women always fucking say every goddamn time: you ain't no good. You a coon for putting down your own black women. And even simp ass niggas do the same goddamn thing. Yeah, you be talking about your black women like that. These are some of the same niggas out here tell you not to talk about black women, but they're the first ones out there to dog them out every goddamn time. Lay up, knocking kids in and won't take care of the damn kids. Some of the same people. Total hypocrites, man. You know? And that goes for our black women, because we got black women just total hypocrites. That's real talk. You know? But like I said, they do a lot of stuff out there that they do because they figure, you know what? Especially on black men, because they figure, especially you working in a white-led office or anything like that, they figure they can get away with it. That's why they do it. I'm telling you for a fact. That's why sometimes they do many of them do that mess. They figure I can get away with it. Yep. They come up with any and every excuse to get days off and all kinds of stuff. I could write a book on it. Actually, I might one day, for real. Because I've experienced a lot of stuff. But then you got them, they wouldn't do that to me. Oh, get the fuck out of here. You know if they want to hit me up bad enough, they won't do that to you. Trust me. I had a cousin of mine that happened to, too. He got in trouble dealing with a crazy woman. I don't remember if she was black, and I think she was, though. You know? I've had people tell me about experience they had dealing with black women on the job. I know from relatives, several of them. Okay? My best friend, my late best friend told me about this stuff all the time, about issues he had with black women trying to get funky with him all the time. And this that happened to me a few years ago wasn't the first time on the rodeo for me either. You know, it happened to me a couple of times, but I found the girl actually liked me. She did. But that's another story. But I never could figure her out. But she wasn't a bad looking chick, but I was married. And she knew that too. But anyway, you know, I digress. But anyway, what I'm saying is that they come up with this toxic masculinity bullshit. And really, it's funny that they come up with that bullshit about toxic masculinity, and a lot of women ride with that shit. Gillette of all people did. Gillette, I don't even use a product. Really, truthfully, I haven't used a product in a very long time, and I don't plan on using their products ever again anyway. That's another story, because I'm growing my beard out. But I digress on that again too. Anyway, so it's just that this Me Too movement, and I say that because they're part of why this is how you like that. Don't get me wrong. I understand part of why they have the movement. Well, excuse me. But what I don't understand is they're very even-handed. I mean, not even. I'm sorry. They're very uneven-handed when it comes to addressing policies on certain people and certain types of people. Why don't you call racist cops? Consider them masculine, toxic masculinity when they go around killing innocent blacks with impunity. Call them out. I don't hear y'all doing that. Where's the Me Too movement at with that shit going on? Never hear nothing about it. Not a damn thing. You know? That pissed me off. Where y'all at when Harvey Weinstein and Les Moonves and all these other white guys are doing that dirt and they get to walk with severance pay? Where the fuck was y'all at then? Tell me, please. Tell me. Please do tell. You know? Y'all ain't around for that, though. Oh, no. Not around to talk about it, huh? I guess not. But you're around to talk about black guys like Bill Cosby and my man Morgan Freeman and Russell Simmons and people of that nature. You call them out in a heartbeat. You know? But you won't call out the people that you need to be calling out, goddammit. And y'all never do. Y'all never do. You know? Anybody of color? Oh, it's least we can get the knock. You know, and then black women side with them on that. Yeah. Y'all women are toxic. Y'all been toxic throughout our history. But y'all gonna talk about toxic masculinity. You know what was supposedly breeds, let me put it like this. This thing about toxic masculinity was breeded from y'all. If there is a such thing as that. You know? Because y'all have been bred and taught by y'all mamas, your aunties, your grandmamas, your girlfriends, your cousins about how y'all can get away with getting over on your man. And white people. They all taught y'all that bullshit. They've all taught y'all that. Oh man, doing? I ain't realized that I was in this one lane. What's going on here? From slavery on down. You know, y'all been taught that throughout history. Throughout history. Yeah. And use it right against us. The women's lib movement from 50 years ago from the 60s. This is all about divide and conquer. Y'all think I'm kidding? Read it up. And y'all, the same black women that got played up right into it to destroy your own communities and your own men and boys. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need no man. You can do it by yourself, girl. Yeah. Y'all played up to that. Y'all did more damage within our communities, as much damage as white people. I put it like that. Y'all have. Yeah, I can say that with conviction and with facts. Okay? Because many of y'all, the majority of women single women that I know that have kids, they usually have about 4 to 5 kids. Or many of them, especially down here in the DMV. I know quite a few of them. All right? And usually the ones that have them kids and who fathers have virtually not been non-existent around them, they have a lot of problems. I heard somebody tell me years ago, a mother can raise a boy to be just as good as a man, to raise a boy to be a man. Oh, she can raise a boy just as good as a man. And I had to virtually cuss. I cussed her ass out. I said, ain't no such goddamn thing. I said, don't you ever tell nobody that shit. And I told one of them, I said, don't you ever tell my son that shit. I will kick. Boy, I was very upset that night. I ain't gonna lie. I was so heated. I said, that's the biggest lie I ever told. Now, one thing I can honestly say on a side note, my son actually is kind of a big fan of Tommy Sotomayor, so we actually went to go see him in 2015 in person. We actually met him. And I may not agree with everything that his brothers say, but he showed damn right when it comes to black women. I shook his hand on that one. I said, dude, you're right, brother. You're right. Now, I meant that. He was totally right about it. You know? And my son has learned about a lot of that mess going on, and he understands the bullshit that's happening. I'm glad he is. Because there's no way I want any woman to influence him thinking that a boy can raise a woman can raise a boy just as good as a man when she ain't no man. You know? I'm sorry. Y'all brothers out here who believe that shit, y'all know what the fuck y'all talking about. I'm sorry. If you believe it, that's fine. But me personally, my opinion is, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Because there's no such thing. I don't give a damn if she was raised with a bunch of boys. There's no way in hell that a woman could ever raise a boy to be as good. To ever raise a boy as good as a man. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. In my entire life. Not part of in my entire life. You know? And if that was the case, why do we got so many problems in our neighborhoods with them? With these fatherless kids? If that was true. That is so not true. It's never been true. Even when I was growing up, back in the late 60s or early 70s, well, particularly 70s, I remember a lot better. My dad used to tell me about appreciating you having a father in your life. He told me this personally. Because he said a lot, and this was back in the day. Back in the day, not that bullshit you're talking about back in the day, 2010. Back in the day, 1973. As far back as 1972, 73. You tell me all the time. You say you lucky to have a father in your life, because a lot of kids don't. And I kind of didn't understand at first for a while. It dawned on me how, a lot of these kids didn't have fathers to go to bed at night, with a mother. Some cases, well, a number of cases, they were inviting Ray and Pookie and somebody else over there different nights a week, and around your kids. You don't know what them guys' influences them guys have around your kids. That's why a lot of these kids get messed up. I know a woman now, she got several kids. And she always talking about, what's the first thing she talking about? Dating some other guy. I'm like, wait a minute. Ain't that how you got into the situation? Always worry about dating. Now, don't get me wrong. But there's nothing wrong with if the single woman needs to date, that's fine. But not to a point where every time you date somebody, you turn around and got pregnant again. And then the guy gone. Y'all make bad choices. The bad part about it is women don't hold each other accountable for that kind of stuff. That's one of the real issues I have. Women do not hold each other accountable for it. I had a discussion with my mother about the situation. About women have choices about whether they want to keep the kid or not. They talking about, but it's up to the man too. I said, no, it's not. I told her straight out. Now, that's my mother and I love and all that. But let's be real. You know damn well that decision ain't never always the man's decision. It's almost always have been the woman's decision. Every time. Especially if they're not married. Many of them don't even consider the decision along with the father anyway. Because some of the guys like, I don't want no kids. And she's like, I'm going to have it anyway. Now, me personally, I'm like, I'm not into talking about not get rid of no kids or nothing like that. But I'm going to tell you right up front. You need to start making the choices you make before you even get to that point. A lot of people don't do it. They do the same old stuff over and over. The cycle of bullshit. The cycle of bullshit is just real. It's like a how can I put it? It's like a tornado. It just goes around and around and around. It just destroys everything in its path. That's the cycle of bullshit in a nutshell. And people keep falling for the okie doke every damn time. Every damn time. I don't get it. But like I said, it all comes back to not holding people or not holding each other accountable for the bullshit, and preventing that by holding people accountable to keep them from doing the kind of bullshit, and letting the future generations know, hey, don't make the same mistake I made. Get your life right. Get your education right. And that's of utmost. I don't care what anybody says. That's of utmost. And then you want to settle down and do this. That's why I'm glad I told my kid that. My kid he's almost in his late 20s now. And so far, so good. He hasn't sprung up and said, hey, Dad got a kid now. And I told him, I said, you know what? This is the one thing I told him, the real talk. I told him, I'm not ready. I'm not in no hurry to have no grandchildren right now. I'm really not. Seriously. I love to have them at some point, but right now I ain't ready. My wife said the same thing. I'm actually surprised because, she's closer to retirement than I am, but that's another story. But I ain't ready. Now, when I told him I wasn't ready, that means you ain't ready. Because, right now, he's not really ready, to tell you the truth. But that's another story. I told him, I said, in other words, take your time really wanting to settle down with one woman, because you don't want to settle down with just anybody. I think he's learned that. Thank God. Because for a minute, I thought he'd never learn, but I think he's learned it. And we have to drill that into our kids' mindset. And we also need to we as parents and future parents need to set better examples for your kids, man. So they won't be doing the same bullshit y'all been doing. Or some of y'all been doing. Let's put it like that. You know? Seriously. You know? But we don't. Many of us don't. That's why the bullshit keeps repeating itself every damn time. You know? I'll say this also, and I've said it before, I usually don't say it, but I gotta kind of say it. I can understand why in some cases this. Well, let me put it like this. There were at one time back in the day where jobs were plentiful and the job rate was low. It's always been high in our in some of our communities, but it's a lot higher now than it ever has been. But I know a lot of people back in the day that were working. Many people. You know, good paying jobs in a lot of places, especially where I came from. A lot of blue collar jobs and a lot of white collar jobs. And blue collar jobs, a lot of them now are non-existent. Many of them are. They still have a few of them, but they're not like it's nothing like what it used to be. And a lot of the early baby boomers, you know, from the I had to say it, from the 1940s on up to about the 1960s, I say the early baby boomer generation did not prepare. I know personally, didn't. They really didn't. All they wanted to do was move up north, get the big house and the big cars. I know that personally. All right? I know this personally because I know somebody who did it. They came out, they put out a big wad of cash, and next thing I know, 2 weeks later, they got a Cadillac. Brand new. I was there. Yep. See, our priorities are all screwed up. More so now than then. Just as bad then as it is now. One of the things I did notice from that generation is that they didn't prepare their kids for the things that many of them talked about the kids needed to do. That's go to school, get a good education, and blah, blah, blah. You know. They didn't prepare you. They were expecting the education system to do that. This I also know for a fact. You know? I just shake my head. Until we break that cycle of bullshit, that cycle of bullshit is going to be like a rolling tornado. It's just going to keep on going and going. Destroying everything in our path. Because nobody wants to stop it. That's all I got, guys. This is DJ Wolf, and I'm out.